You are now listening to the Real Table Podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast with your host, Michael Carter. And as always, it is great to be here on the Real Table Podcast. Second episode of the new year, and I'm excited about this one. I got Josiah back, I got Corn back, and we about to get into some nice discussions here. I can feel it. There's always that dead period to start the year when it comes to movies. I know next week, I think the only one I can think of, I think it might be The Wolfman. That might be it. I saw one reaction that said it's pretty solid. So beyond that, like, it's kind of dead until we get to February 14th with Captain America, Brave New World. But that's always like that to start the year. It's always like that. But just because we don't have anything big that's coming out, I don't mean we can't talk about movies, right? So hopefully we're going to be doing more episodes like this throughout the year, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to talk about our most anticipated movies of 2025. So I told Josiah, Corn, and like obviously even myself, we've compiled our list of our top movies of 2025, and I'm excited to see what we have. Before we started recording, just before Corn said, he said I got a fat list, and so it's gonna be interesting to see what rounds out as his top movies. So let's just start off with Joe. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Does my audio sound okay?
Yeah, you sound good, bro.
All right, awesome. Just working. Excited to see some movies this year. I know kind of have to be a little strategic because trying to pay off debts and get on top of finances. I'm not going to be able to go as much.
I feel that
as normal. But I did get a couple of movie theater gift cards for my birthday and Christmas. So I'm like, all right, now I got to be strategic and see which one of these movies I want to go see and when. So I'm doing good. I'm glad to be on again and talk movies with you guys.
Nice. Did you see anything maybe like within the last week or before the end of the year?
Before the end of the year, I saw Nosferatu. So Robert Eggers, yeah.
How was that?
I liked it a lot. I mean, it's my second favorite out of the four he's made.
Okay.
But really solid cast, great cinematography. It was good.
Was it scary?
I wouldn't say scary, but it was definitely creepy. It was almost like beat for beat the same as the original film.
Okay.
But it was a lot more fleshed out because there's actually dialogue and it's not a silent film. So
right.
I knew kind of where the story was going. He made some changes, but it was solid, man. It was real good.
All right. Go on, bro. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good to be back. Just like Josiah said, just excited to talk movies. 2025's gotten off to, I feel like, a focused start. I got like a planner. I'm starting to write down stuff in my calendar.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a new thing for me.
All right,
you
all
feel
right.
me? So yeah, no, but I've been we talked about this episode, the most anticipated, and I was telling Joe before you hopped on, like, when I kind of was doing my research, I didn't realize this many movies were coming out this year. So I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh, yo, I kind of want to see a lot of movies. And I also have to be strategic because, we all got debt out here.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think this will be a really, really good year for movies. And I think, especially after last year, I think blockbusters are back.
Ooh, yeah.
I think we got some blockbusters. At least I have a few that I think will be blockbusters for sure.
All right. Did you watch anything within the last week or end of the year?
Nothing in theaters, but I saw that Carry On movie on Netflix. It's with Jason Bateman.
Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman,
Yeah.
Did you like that?
It's good, bro. So I'm not gonna lie, I got recommended the movie because I knew I had like a few hours to kill the next day. Yeah. And I asked two people separately, and they both recommended the same movie. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, like I went into it with no expectations. It's about, it happens in the airport. They both kind of said the same thing. They're like, I don't want to give too much away, but it's just like a day in the airport and like stuff starts happening. I'm like, all right, whatever. But it was good, man. The acting was good. The plot was good. The writing was good. Like, it was actually a really, really well thought out just scenario.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away, especially for anyone who may not have seen it. But, you know, it's about a TSA worker and he's put into a sticky situation. And it's like, how would you react? Yeah. You know, it's one of those type movies. So it was really good, man. Like, I went in really with no expectations. And honestly, it was like a 9. It was like an 8-9, bro. It was really good.
Yeah. I've been hearing about that movie, and I was skeptical when I first heard about it, and then once people started watching it, and I've had interactions with people like, "Have you seen Carry On?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "It's actually good." I was like, "Oh shoot!"
Yeah, bro. It's good.
Dang.
It's good.
All right, nice.
It's like an hour. It's like not long either. It's Netflix, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Just throw it on if you got really nothing to do.
But yeah, one of my goals this year is to watch more movies. I feel like I watch movies, but I think people overestimate, like people that I know overestimate how much movies I actually watch in a year. And I'm like, I really don't be watching that many movies. Like, I watch movies, like the bigger ones, obviously, and then some on streaming if I hear about it. But like, I really don't be watching that much. And I'm like, this year I kind of want to step that up, but also, like y'all said, be strategic, because finances is like, that's a real thing. But there's there's like content on the streamers that I be hearing about, and I'm like, that's an easy click play, and I don't even got to pay anything. So
that was the other thing. I think I got a Amazon Prime gift card.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, hey, those are like at least $25 worth of movies that I can rent.
Yes.
So it's like, even if I can't see them, I can at least spend time watching movies that I missed in the past just by renting them for a few bucks for and just maybe I'll just do that, and get the numbers up that way. So
Yep, that's smart. Yep. Yeah, dope. Well, as always, glad to have y'all on here. But you know what it's time. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Let's work our way up. 10. Let's go 10 and all the way up to 1.
Oh, I don't even have them in order, but
you don't have them in order.
No, I don't really have them in order, but I can kind of like.
You can guess.
Yeah.
No, are we just doing like our straight 10 right now, or we just talked about number 10 and then we just all talk about number 9? Or
yeah. Let's start. Each number we'll each talk about what our pick is, and then why, and then we'll just keep it moving, keep working our way up to the final one. Let's start with 10. Joe, let's start with you. What's your number 10?
So my number 10 is Thunderbolts. I know I didn't listen to it, but you did an episode talking about the MCU going into 2025, and honestly, I just fell off the MCU train. I'm just not into it as much.
Right.
But Thunderbolts, the trailer, first trailer does look good. I like the cast. I mean, you got Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan. I do like Wyatt Russell. He's back. David Arbor, so I think it's, and then kind of having that ensemble kind of cast back into the MCU. But it's like they're not heroes in that sense, like the Avengers. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's a good pick. It almost, I just already spoiled my list. It almost made my top 10. It didn't. I wrestled because I really did like that first trailer. Because I think that was probably, like, looking forward, that was probably the one product I wasn't really sold on movie-wise for Marvel. And then that first trailer came out, and I was like, oh, shoot. It looked like they really cooked with this one. But nice pick. All right, Corn, what you got?
So again, I don't really have an order, so I'll probably just start with one of those that I'm kind of like lower on the list for.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll go with Freakier Friday. They're doing a Freaky Friday remix with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. Bro, I mean, I feel like everyone in our generation low key had a crush on Lindsay Lohan growing up.
Easily.
Um, I mean, she was just like that star of our generation,
Yeah.
and we're in the era of remakes, and I've kind of like at first I was just like, why we just keep remaking movies? Like we just keep remaking movies. This is kind of getting corny.
Yeah.
But we're here now, and they've always done remakes since the beginning of time. We look at Dune. Dune's a remake. So like these things just happen after 20, 30, 40 years. But it's cool when we're doing remakes with the same characters, like with the same actors and actresses. So I really like that. I might even go to theaters to see it. It might be one of those like it's in that say like Freaky Friday, like that Lindsay Lohan run. Like she had a crazy run. So I might go support. Honestly, it was one that I was like, wow, Freaky Friday, they're making a remake. All right, let me go check this out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I forgot all about that one, but
Me too. I just wrote that down.
I'm looking forward to that one for sure. Especially, I think she's making this comeback too that I'm excited about, which is really cool to see. For me, number 10, I went with Captain America. I wrestled if that was going to make my top 10, but I'm like, you know what? This is the first Black Captain America movie. I gotta find somewhere for him to go. So number 10 just felt right. It looked like it's, if anything, if it's not great story wise, it'll be super entertaining. So that's why I went with it at 10. All right, 9.
Number 9, I put Fantastic Four from a number 9.
Okay.
I think it'll be nice. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the Fantastic Four, but I did like the first two, with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis. So it'll be nice to see the Fantastic Four in the MCU. I'm not super sold on the cast. I think I do like Joseph Quinn as Human Torch. I mean, he's been killing it lately. Had a very good year last year.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm really intrigued in seeing what they're going to do with the whole 60s aspect. And then, they've always been known as Marvel's first family, but in the MCU at this point, the Avengers have already done the family dynamic quite a bit. So wonder how they're going to play off of that. So yeah, I wasn't sure if that was going to be on my list, but I'm like, you know what? It's Fantastic Four. So, and John Watts is directing it, I'm pretty sure. So, did the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Those are real solid. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to flesh this out, my list out right now. So for number 9, this is a random one, but Marty Supreme. I don't know if that made any of you guys list. So it's a Timothy Chalamet movie. It doesn't have, it's supposed to come out in 2025. It doesn't have an official release date. Okay. But it's from the Safdie brothers. And I don't know if you know the Safdie brothers, but they did Uncut Gems.
Okay.
So it's Timothy Chalamet, and it's like a loosely based biopic off this guy named Marty something. I forgot his last name, but he's like a ping pong like legend. And I don't know, man. I just like the way the Safdies shoot. I like the way they story tell. And after a movie like Uncut Gems, where like there was really little to no information on the movie, and then we kind of just saw Adam Sandler pop up, and then we just saw all these ads for it, and it built so much buzz that like everyone went to go see the movie.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like the ending, but I love the fact that that was the ending, because it was just a day in the life of a New York, trying to make it hustler on the street, and he finally makes it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's really just the course of like a couple days. And so the way that the movie was shot, it makes it feel like it was a whole grand long time, but it was really over the course of like a couple basketball games. Like if you really look at like the movie itself. So I like the way like they story tell. Timothy Chalamet to me, like he's becoming one of those guys I kind of just like. You know how like when the young pretty boy comes out, everybody hates on it. Like when Justin Bieber first came out and all the girls liked him and all the dudes were like, man, Justin Bieber whack. But then we realized, Justin can sing. He's actually not that bad of a dude. Like I think that's where I'm at with Timothy Chalamet. Like at first I didn't know who he was. He was just this dude. He got Willy Wonka. I'm like, all right, what's going on? But I started to see a few interviews. I've actually started to watch his movies, and the dude can act. He seems like a real chill guy. Like I'm starting to buy into the hype. And this is one of those movies where I don't know if you guys saw Cherry with Tom Holland.
No,
but I didn't
get to that.
So I read the book and I watched the movie because it's based on someone in Cleveland. It's written by the guy who's actually acting, like who the book is about, and it's based in Cleveland. So if you guys haven't read the book, it's a great book. It's also a great movie, but Tom Holland acts in it. And it was one of those movies where you see Tom Holland acting in a role where you're like, oh, like boy can act. He's not just, one of these Marvel sappy guys. I think this could be one of those roles for Timothy Chalamet where people actually, I know he just did this Bob Dylan thing, but that's, portraying somebody that's like a big guy. This dude, I didn't know anything about this movie. I'm starting to see what's coming out this year. I'm like, oh, he's playing like a ping pong guy who I've never heard about, but apparently he was like some big ping pong wizard. I gotta watch this movie. It's the Safdie brothers. I know they're gonna shoot this. I know whatever the story is, I'm already bought in. So that's on my list. I'm like, I like this Timothy Chalamet guy, and I like the Safdies, so I'm in.
Nice. All right. See, I know about that one. That's why
I like weird movies, man.
I just looked it up, and I'm like, that's why he
stuff.
has that mustache. I've seen clips of him with the
Oh.
mustache. So that's, you know what I'm talking about, Michael?
Yeah.
So apparently that's the movie. I was like, I don't know why Timmy has this mustache thing going on, but I'm like, I guess that's it. So I'm intrigued now.
Do y'all know if they still filming it?
I'm not sure, bro. Like I honestly just like caught the movie. I had no idea what it was about. I'm going to do more research about it. I can get back to you, but it doesn't even have a release date. I'm assuming that it's wrapped and they're just editing because it says 2025.
On IMDb, it says production status is completed.
Okay.
It just says the plot is under wraps.
Ooh. Yeah. All right.
So,
bro, I'm telling you, when the Safdies did that Uncut Gems thing, it came out of nowhere. You just saw Adam Sandler, like you knew he was in a movie. And then you just see ads like him dressed like you're like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? So there's like a mystique around their movies. There's like also a buzz. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Like they're doing movies right. I like the way that they're still like they're keeping. We had that discussion if the movie star is still a real thing.
Yeah.
I think these directors are like bringing like the mystique back to Hollywood, bringing that like, we could tell stories, but we're not letting y'all in until y'all need to know.
Right.
I like that about that. I really
do. That's good because too many things just get leaked these days.
Just get leaked super easy, and it's like
the worst.
Remember when you have to wait because we didn't even have social media, so you just saw a commercial one day. You're like, oh, it's coming out. I miss that.
Oh, this was days. Days.
Just see a poster out of nowhere when you walk to the movies. You like. That poster wasn't there last week.
Right.
What's that? What's
that?
Yeah, man.
Yep, I remember that. For me, number 9, I went with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Okay. I like Guillermo. Oh
yeah.
Man, I can't. I'm putting his name. Del Toro. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Del Toro, man, he can cook.
Yeah,
he can make something like that's creepy and with a little bit of horror in it. He can make it really, really good. I thought The Shape of Water was solid, and then Pan's Labyrinth, and then obviously Hellboy 1 and 2.
I haven't seen those, but I did see Pacific Rim.
Yeah, and Pacific Rim.
Then he did that Pinocchio on Netflix, man.
Yeah, the Pinocchio was real good, actually. So I'm interested to see him taking like a story like Frankenstein.
Okay.
And bringing it into the new age. So I'm excited for it. So that's at my number 9. Number 8. All
right, you guys might hate me for this one. Number 8 is Superman. Yeah, it's number 8, pretty high up on the list or low on the list.
Okay.
I've never been the biggest Superman fan. I mean, I think he's cool, but I think a lot of times he just comes off a little too overpowered, and that kind of takes it down a couple notches on the relatability aspect for me.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm not one of those like restore the Snyderverse. It's got to be that kind of guys. Even though I'm glad we got his Justice League movie. I'm satisfied with that. But after that trailer, I was like, okay, I think I feel it. I like the colors.
Yeah.
And then obviously James Gunn knows comic books and he knows how to make movies. So, I mean, after the Suicide Squad and, the Guardians trilogy, and then I wasn't big on the crypto thing, but after the trailer, I was like, you know what? I kind of dig it, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I mean, again, I think he kills it in everything he does, everything I've seen him in. And so I'm very intrigued, but not intrigued enough to where I'm like, this is my most anticipated. So,
all right.
And I'm also not sure about the whole superheroes already being in this world already aspect. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
So we're on 8. For 8, I would probably put Knives Out. They're coming out with a new movie.
That is this year.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta write that down now.
Oh wait, that might change my list real quick.
It's like something a Knives Out story.
That might change my list.
Yeah, no, those are just entertaining movies. Like there's, like I can go in. I don't have to know the plot. I know it's going to be murder, mystery, kill. We gotta figure it out at the end. Like it's just entertaining, and it's funny because I just saw something with Daniel Craig, and I didn't really know Daniel Craig had a comedy bag like that. And that was my first time seeing him in that type of light. So whoever they bring, if he comes back, whatever it is, like I'm excited to see that.
Yeah,
I might have to change my list later after this.
See, I'm telling you, I got some heaters, man. I was like, yo, it's some movies coming up.
I promise I did my research, but like, dang, I missed a few. I like
some
this
heaters,
one.
man. I was looking at my list, like I don't even know what to put where anymore.
Okay, I'm not changing my 8 and 7 are gonna remain the same, but the top 6 might get shifted.
My top 3 is gonna sound so fried because I'm gonna go through all the good movies. Be like, well, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say,
bro.
I'm just gonna keep my list for now, and then I have a couple honorable mentions. So,
for 8, I'm going with F1.
Ooh,
yeah,
you guys can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay,
F1. Cool. I got Brad Pitt. Joseph Kosinski is directing it, and they've been filming this movie. I think they started at 23, and they just finished like in 24, like late 24. So this movie, just because of, it's a little bit of that Top Gun Maverick feel where I'm really excited about Joseph Kosinski getting back into that director's seat and directing something like a F1 racing movie. Using the style that he used with Top Gun Maverick, I think it would be really dope. And that also you got Brad Pitt. Who else is in here? Brad Pitt, Damon Idris, Kerry Condon, Javier Bardem, like some heavy hitters in here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with this movie. It sounds like it's gonna be dope. So yeah, I had to put that at 8. Yeah. 7.
I have Captain America, so that is on my list.
Okay.
It's Captain America ever since like the Winter Soldier is like my favorite MCU like Avenger.
Yeah.
And for the first one out of the gate, Falcon Winter Soldier wasn't bad for Disney Plus series. But so it's not, like I said, he's not Steve Rogers, but that suit looks super sick. And then the trailers we've seen so far do kind of give me Winter Soldier vibes and kind of the, political thriller espionage thing. So I'm actually, it's got my attention a bit. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do and how it's going to work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What you got for us, Corn?
So we're on 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch my 7. So I had Fantastic Four for 7 as well, but I'm actually going to switch that to the movie with Kendrick Lamar, Matt Stone, and Trey Parker, the writers from South Park.
See, I forgot about that one too.
And the reason I put that on there is because the plot originally sounded extremely fried, and if they go through with it, I really want to see why Kendrick would attack, because it was like on some here. Let me go ahead and actually pull up.
It was something about slavery, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like.
Hopefully, I know this one.
Hold on, because I don't want to butcher it. You know.
I do remember seeing something about that, and I was like,
But here, hold on. Let me find where this is supposed to be at. I apologize. I should have done my homework.
No, you good, because we all here shifting lists and stuff. So this is what the podcast is for. It's fine. It's good. It's good.
Okay, Kendrick Lamar. Come on, EW.com. Go ahead and load, baby. Work with me.
This might really might be Kendrick's year.
Yeah, and that's and that was going to be part of why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because while this is loaded, I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but Kendrick is coming off the biggest year he's ever had, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he has a Super Bowl coming up here next month. This movie has been rumored since right around the strike. It was him and South Park writers Trey Stone and Matt. Because when I initially saw what the supposed plot was going to be, I was like, this doesn't sound like this is going to be really what it's about.
Yeah.
Kendrick is all about, Black empowerment. And I know South Park is edgy, but usually they're on the side of good, even though sometimes they do take their jokes a little too far. So I assume whatever they do is going to be, done well. And even if it's a little over the top, there's going to be some sort of moral, like standing behind it, and they're doing what they're doing for some reason. But it was like, I don't know, man. I really want to find it. I might just have you guys come back to me until I can find exactly what the plot of the movie is supposed to be.
So while I was waiting for you, I said I wasn't gonna move 7, and I end up shifting 7. I shifted what I had at 7 out of my top 10.
Oh, okay.
Because I forgot all about this movie, and so I'm like, where I'm gonna fit this movie at? And like, I don't know if I want to touch my top 5. I feel like my top 5 just feels like it's, it is what it is. So for 7, again, I can't believe I forgot all about this movie. I went with Sinners, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan film. I had to go with that one. Yeah.
So what did you kick out then?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Or are we going to cover that at the end, or?
I can say now if y'all cool.
Okay.
I can say now.
Yeah.
So I had the Michael Jackson movie. I
still have that on
at 7. You still have it on your list?
Yes, actually.
I had it up there because I still am excited about it, and the casting with Coleman Domingo, Nia Long, like it can cook. But I'm like, man, Ryan Coogler hasn't done anything that's not Marvel in a long time. And he filmed it in IMAX, and this one sounds like it's gonna be grand. So I was like, I gotta do one for my boy Ryan, and I gotta put him at 7. So I put Michael's in my honorable mentions, if you want to say, because that movie's still gonna be big, and I think it hopefully has the potential to be really, really good. So yeah.
So I'll jump right in because Sinners is actually my number 6.
Oh,
like you said, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. I mean, do you even need to say more?
nah.
They work well together. They're both super talented, and I still don't know a whole lot about the plot. But in this kind of like new wave of original, quote unquote, like horror movies. I mean, we're talking about Robert Eggers, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Some people consider this to be a horror movie, but like A Quiet Place with John Krasinski. I haven't seen a ton of Ari Aster stuff, but I did see Midsommar. So seeing like an original film from Ryan Coogler with Michael B. Jordan, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be like wonderfully crafted. So
yeah, I'll just concur. We could all do that as ours. Yeah, Sinners. It says, from what I've read, it says horror. I know it's supposed to be set in like the 1930s, 40s. I was thinking maybe vampire-ish.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really know though, but from the way they were dressed, from what I've seen so far, I'm feeling vampire vibes. But
and then the whole "it's dark, let me in," you know, that's like vampires only come out at night, you know.
Yeah, vampires, werewolves, something of the supernatural. But again, man, I think we can all say we're huge Coogler fans. Excited to see anything they cook up. Michael B. Jordan as well. You know, he's a star. I know people hate on him acting sometimes, but for better or for worse, he's a star and he's here to stay. And he's Coog's guy. So
man,
we gonna hate on the black man? Come on, man. Let's lift them up. You know, let's lift them up. But before you go ahead, I did get the plot.
Okay.
This is from IMDb. It's untitled. Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Kendrick Lamar, and Dave Free. A young black man who's interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his.
Oh. And what's the name of this?
It's untitled. It's just, again, we're under the mystique of the writers of South Park and Kendrick Lamar. So,
well, you know what?
It could be cool.
And that's why I was like, for Kendrick to attach himself to this, to be not only a writer, but to know the year he's about to come into, because he knew he had the Super Bowl. He knew what he was doing after the beat. Like, he knew that this movie was down the pipeline. So for Kendrick to have the biggest year of his life potentially, and for this movie to come out, it's gotta land, bro. That's why I'm just like,
music too, right? It's music, right?
It's probably going to be like one of those, like, I don't know if you ever seen Team America. It's another movie by them. It's like not claymation, but it's
like
like stop motion.
It's not puppets, but it's like actual like figurines, like action figures.
Yes,
but I guess it is stop motion actually. So yeah, it's like a stop motion movie they made with like action figures.
Yes.
And
okay.
Set like a toy set design. It's honestly really brilliantly done. It's super vulgar. It's about like this GI force that has to go fight in the Middle East, and it's super racist and super vulgar. But it's South Park. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting into, and so. That's why I'm looking at Kendrick like, bro, this gotta land, fam. This has to land, fam.
If like, not, they better just take their losses.
There's so minuscule margin for error, bro, that you like, because the year you're coming off, when you cannot, bro. Like, you cannot, fam. You cannot go and make a mockery of black people, bro. You cannot, dude. Like, and I'm just like, I'm sitting here because I love Kendrick. And I love what the South Park guys are about. Like, growing up, I was never allowed to really watch South Park, and I know a whole bunch of my friends did. So I was always out of the loop. So when I got older, like, I got into it, and it's funny and it's good. I'm not one of those guys that watches it, you know, every week or anything, but I'll catch the big episodes. Like, I saw the COVID one, I saw the Ozempic one. You know, like, I see the big episodes, but it's like, fam, like, this show, like, people know who these writers are. You know what I mean? It's not like these are the same guys that got invited to the Oscars and went on acid and in dresses because they were making a mockery of it. They didn't expect to be there. They didn't expect to win anything, so they went on acid, bro. So for me to sit here and see you align with them and be like, yo, this is the plot of this movie, I'm like, you know, be dope. Let me go ahead and just say a prayer to my Lord before I walk into this theater. But I'm gonna spend the $10.50 or $12, whatever it is. You know, I might have to go to Monday matinee or something. But I'm going to see that movie, bro.
Does it have a date?
To see
it. Does it have a date?
No date, no title as of yet. Just 2025 release.
Is there a studio? Did you see a studio?
I'm not sure. Again, this is one of those things where it's like, it's so under wrap. I don't know.
All right. It's gonna be
I
interesting.
really don't know, bro. I couldn't tell you, but I'm such a big Kendrick fan that I've been like thirsty on this because I remember when they first brought it out, and I was like, dog, what?
Yeah,
and then now that the writing strike's over and people are producing movies again, let's just pop back up, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. See, but K-Dot got whipped up. Are we on 6?
Yeah, number 6.
What's your 6, Corn? Did you say 6 yet?
Well, my 6 was also Sinners.
Yeah, that's right. You did say that.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then I just wanted to give the plot for that movie.
Right. Okay. 6. I end up doing the same thing that I did with 7. I shifted what was at 6, and I shifted it out of the top 10 to put in the Knives Out movie. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Knives Out. That's going to be at number 6 for me. And it's called Wake Up Dead. Yeah.
So what was the original number 6?
Jurassic World Rebirth.
All right.
Yeah. The Jurassic World movies. The first one I like. Second one I thought was pointless. Third I was like, this is also, I feel like it's pointless. So the only reason it made my top 10 because Gareth Edwards is directing it. And Gareth Edwards, yeah, the creator, he did Godzilla, and so I'm like, there's some hope for it. And then some of the images look like it was bringing back some of that old aesthetic from like the original trilogy, and so I'm like, maybe I should be excited for this movie again. And it's got Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, I think, is in there, and Jonathan Bailey, who was in Wicked, is in there too. So it's like, interesting. But Knives Out, Jurassic World, I trust Rian Johnson to bring a solid mystery film. So I was like, I gotta put that in the top 10. It's gotta be up in the top 10. So I'll put that for top 10.
And I think that would be good for him because it's like the whole Last Jedi fiasco, and it's just like, if you know what you're doing, or you're just letting him do his thing, he can direct a good movie, man. I mean, Knives Out. If you look at Knives Out and The Last Jedi, then it's like something ain't right. Something else is going on. You know what I mean? So
because it wasn't even originally, he wasn't supposed to make sequels to this. Exactly. It was supposed to be just a standalone, but then the movie hit so big, they were like,
it was massive, yeah.
And that's the thing. I know that he was upset about that because he just wanted it to be called A Glass Onion, but they wanted him to put a Knives Out story. But it's like, it's branding. In the same, the only constant is Daniel Craig. So it's like, it's not a sequel to Knives Out. It's just another mystery, but they made him. And I was just like, why you got to do the man like that? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
So
that's the tricky part where I agree. I feel like they didn't need to put that in there.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's just like, if people don't, like, it's like the Furiosa movie. I think they had, Mad Max Saga in the title.
Exactly.
Because people, and it didn't even benefit the movie at the end of the day. Didn't even benefit the movie because the movie flopped. But, like, I think studios feel like they need to have something to tell the audience it's from this space to come see it. I don't know. It makes no sense in my opinion, but I agree with you.
And not to piggyback off my older comment, but that I feel like it's just the remix to just, it's just a remix, bro. Like, we understand studios are getting lazy and they're just remaking movies, and instead of remaking movies, they're throwing a woman there for whatever. Yeah. And so, like, they're just remixing the same things, which is fine, and I'm here for it. But the product has to be good, and I think that's why Furiosa flopped.
Yeah,
I think because the product wasn't good. I don't think because, like, we were tired of Mad Max. I think it was just because the product wasn't good.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I mean, I wanted a sequel to Fury Road, not a prequel. I'm like,
thank you.
Right.
I did watch it. Yeah.
Right.
Because Anya Taylor-Joy, we all know she's great. It was good. It was great seeing Chris Hemsworth do something different. But I'm like, I don't really think that anybody wanted this. We wanted a sequel to Fury Road, which we've been saying for the last 10 years. So,
and I'd even argue, like, as known in some capacity as Anya is, she no A-lister, so she's not really putting them butts in the seats, and so people, not everybody knows her face unless you know you have a movie watcher, which she's not there yet. But that's a part of that movie star comment. I mean, that movie star conversation we was having.
Yeah.
But
It's like if you're in the movies like we're like, oh, Anya Joy, oh my gosh, but the average person maybe have seen her, I don't know, Queen's Gambit or something.
Gambit, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Which
and
that was
kids,
popular.
yeah,
that was
like
years ago, and that was
Mario blew up, but that was voice acting, so it's like people aren't going to think, oh, that was Anya Taylor-Joy. They're like, oh, it's Princess Peach, you know?
Yeah,
right.
So,
see, I forgot she was Princess Peach.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't know her from her voice, but yeah, I mean, even Queen's Gambit, that was a COVID watch, like 2020, 21. So it's been some years, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's get into the thick of it. This is it. Top
All right.
5.
Number
Top
5. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I think this is going to be the most amazing movie this year or anything, but my number 5 is Megan 2.0. You know,
okay.
I had a lot of fun with the first. It was fun.
I never
movie.
saw
It was
the first
fun.
one, so let me not say no.
It was solid.
It was fun. I had a fun time.
Yeah,
I'll write that one down.
So, yeah, Megan 2.0. I didn't think they were going to make a second one, but they are. I said, you know what? Why not? Like I said, Allison Williams coming off of. I mean, she's been doing some smaller things, but I had only really seen her from Get Out. So seeing her in that was good. It was funny. I mean, it was entertaining. So I had a lot of fun, and I'm like, you know, I had some. I mean, maybe if I had known Knives Out, if I had remembered that would have probably changed some things.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, that's my number 5.
Okay. All right.
Number 5, I have The Accountant 2.
Oh,
Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, J.K. Simmons. I don't know if you guys saw The Accountant 1, but
yeah, I did actually.
What's his name? Ben Affleck he's obviously an accountant, but he the way he's acting, you're supposed to assume that he probably has like autism or Asperger's or something on the spectrum. So he's a little bit, you know, to himself, high strung, but you know, very, very neat, very orderly. But on the side, like, so he's an accountant. He works for any like regular accounting firm, 9 to 5, goes home, drives a regular car. But then on the side, he also cooks the books for like I don't want to say bad guys, but bad guys. You know what I mean? So he lives this double life sort of thing, and it's him living this double life. And obviously he gets into the weeds, and now he's just a normal guy, or is he?
So are you talking like cartel bad or just like greedy bad? Like
cartel, like cartel bad. Like he's cooking the books for guys that make a lot of money and don't need the government knowing where their money's coming from.
Okay. Okay.
But he's also got some skills. You know, he's also like, you get to find out he's not just a normal accountant. So it's a good action movie. It has a few twists. I mean, we all know what the guy can do. Ben Affleck's a master at the field. Again, big. John Bernthal, I think he brings seats, and obviously JK is JK. So I'm really excited to see. I mean, the first one should be on Netflix still. I think it might be on Netflix. It's a good movie. It's a good action movie. About an hour 40. I really like the first one, so excited for the second one.
Yeah, I kind of, now that you mention it, I kind of want to rewatch that. It's been a minute since I've seen the first one. I thought it was pretty solid. Number 5 for me, gotta go with my boy Tommy Cruise. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yeah, this feels like this is going to be the last movie, last Mission Impossible movie, and I think they're just going to go out on top. It did look like that there was some connections to the third movie, which is going to be interesting to see. Just to see how they wrap it all up. But
did action... 3 have a name, or was it just MI3?
I think it was MI3.
Yeah, it's just MI3.
And then 4 was when they started naming them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ghost Protocol was 4.
Ghost Protocol, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm always going to be there for Tom, my guy. You know, watching him do crazy stunts. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to end this. The cast is solid as always. And I'm hoping to see if it does well at the box office. I think Dead Reckoning came out. It came out right in the middle between Barbie and Oppenheimer. It was like that weird, and so it got the bad end of the stick when it came to like finances, and it didn't do as well. So hoping, I think it comes out in May, which I think is favorable for the movie like late May. So we'll see how it does then. But yeah, that's my number 5, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, or the Final Reckoning, excuse me. Number 4.
Number 4. This isn't a hot take in my opinion, but it might be a surprise. My number 4 is Paddington in Peru. I'm being serious, man. Yeah.
I love it.
Ever since I saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal from a couple years ago, there was a joke of like the number one. It's like his favorite movie was Paddington. Paddington
I
2.
did see that. I saw that.
And so I'd never seen it. So then I watched it, and they're like some of the most fun and most wholesome like family movies like I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I could use a little bit more Paddington in my life. And like I said, the first 2 were really well made.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not? Number 4 is Paddington. So
I'm not mad at it.
No,
well,
my wife hates.
Think that.
My wife hates on Paddington for some weird reason.
What?
I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the movie. I'm like, they're very wholesome. You can't go wrong with them. Like, it's Paddington.
Yeah.
So yeah, Corn, what you got?
My we're on 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My 4 was actually Mission Impossible.
Okay.
I'll just keep it short and sweet, but I feel like we grew up with these movies as well. Tom Cruise, like we all kind of grew up watching these. And these were like, for me, I remember at least maybe like the first 2 or 3. This is like when, I don't know if y'all went to the Dollar Movie when y'all were kids, but this is like the Dollar Movie that they got all the way out in Chardon or something. It's near like that old airstrip that's out there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's no longer there, but there was like a Dollar Movie theater like in Chardon. I want to say
Like
it's like
near Mark's.
No, bro.
No.
I'd have to ask my parents because it was like you had to pass some like small airfield.
Okay.
And it, like when you were going to the movie theater, the airfield was on your right. I always remember, but I can't remember exactly what airstrip it was. Long story short, there was a Dollar Movie theater, and like when we were kids, our family used to go to the Dollar Movie theater like probably like once or twice a month. Like on a Saturday night, we used to drive out there, and that was kind of like our kick it for real. Like we go watch a movie. They had a website and everything. You can kind of go figure out what it was. Sometimes we go and get a double feature if we were like good that day and got done with our chores. So like we used to watch so many movies when we were kids, bro. And Mission Impossible, I remember, was like one of the first times I was able to watch like a PG-13 movie, bro. I was like, oh, it's lit. Like we finna watch Mission Impossible, bro. So like it's just so sentimental to me. So, I've always rocked with Tom Cruise. I'll go see anything he's in. And then for this to probably be the culmination of that series is going to be crazy. So super excited for that.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's go with number. Oh, wait. No, I didn't do my 4. My bad. Number 4 for me is Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Okay.
Jeez, you're like one ahead of me for everything.
I'm really excited about the possibilities for this one. Once they announced like what the movie was going to be about and how they've been to like I want to say like earthly tribe and then a water tribe and now they're going to a fire tribe. I'm hoping the stakes just intensify for Jake Scully and his family. So I'm really pumped to see what James Cameron got cooking with this one. So I think it should be really good, and it should be a hit for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good. Avatar was not on my list.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it was good. It was good. I'm just not like Avatar,
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to see it, and I do think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, just the visuals at least, and the motion capture. So.
Yeah, I want to try to catch this one in IMAX if I can. IMAX 3D.
Hey, let me know, bro. I'm right there with you,
dude. That's gonna be the move. Number 3, top 3.
My number 3 is Mission Impossible. Like you said, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It seems like it's gonna be the last one. Since it was gonna be Dead Reckoning Part 2, but now they made it the Final Reckoning.
Right.
I don't think Dead Reckoning was better than Fallout, and I wasn't too with it with the whole AI aspect of it, but a
little weird.
Then I can't believe that they killed Rebecca Ferguson off. I was like, why would you? So aside from the fact that she's not going to be in it,
I forgot. Dang.
I mean, it's going to be great. I think it's Tom Cruise. Like you said, I'm there for Tom Cruise no matter what. So, man's been putting in the work for years, and he hasn't stopped. So,
Yeah, I agree. 3 for me is going to be Michael. Just a huge Michael fan, and kind of like what you said earlier, Mike. The cast around this movie and the fact that Michael's being played by Michael Jackson's actual nephew is going to be
huge.
like, I don't know if you've seen Buddy.
Oh yeah, dude. Those set photos are. That's why it was hard to take it out of my top 10 because those set photos.
He looks so much like a young Michael Jackson. It's honestly unreal. And like, I've seen just a few clips of him dancing, just some rehearsal stuff behind the scenes, and I'm like, yo, bro, like
cooking.
This has the potential to be really, really good. And the fact that it's family made means it's going to be right. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Even, there have been a lot of stuff, surrounding Michael Jackson. Obviously, he's a polarizing figure, but for his story to be told, I feel like the only way for it to be told right, the family had to do it because they're still alive. I mean, Janet's still here, obviously, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, all that. So, this has the potential to really be like, whether or not you believe any of the hoopla or whatever, like this is the king of pop, bro.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter how you feel about his personal life, this is the actual king of pop, man. Like, I just hear stories about who this guy was, before social media, before, when you had to read a newspaper that he was coming to your town in Scotland, and how they somehow found out what hotel he was at, and how they had to book 3 different hotels because for every time they found out a new hotel, the people would be like, yo, Michael's here, pull up. Like he was just that guy, bro. There's like, it's hard to imagine that type of celebrity and now, because, a YouTuber could be a celebrity, but like for there to be like an actual like reverence for celebrities back then, like he was just different. So I don't even know when this is going to take place from, but whenever it is, it looks like it's, emerging Mike, that like teenage to young adulthood. Man, this movie could be crazy, bro.
Yeah. I'm really hoping. Especially in an era where we get so many like biopic movies. I'm like, I want this. I'm hoping this one is like a refreshing film and a refreshing story. Give us something nice.
Because I think with the refreshing thing, I'm not into music like that, but I've seen a biopic or two. That trailer for that one about Robbie Williams' Better Man. I'm still not with the whole chimpanzee thing. That seems a little gimmicky and seems a little weird to me.
Yeah.
So, like you said, something fresh, but not that fresh. It's like, hey, nothing crazy,
Exactly. Yeah, no, I get that. Number 3, I gotta go with my musical theater. I gotta go with Wicked for Good. Number 3. Oh yeah, bro. I gotta go with this for number 3 for me.
I was expecting it to be top 3 once I didn't hear it.
Yes, yeah, you knew. He knew. Gordon already knew. He already knew. Yeah, Wicked just, I don't know. I think it blew my expectations, not just from a product standpoint. I think from the success of it. I didn't expect it to be as big as it was. I think it had the potential because you have Ariana Grande, and also Wicked is also popular. Like, people go see that musical, and it's still on Broadway over like 2 decades now. So I was like, I gotta go with this next one, which my wife is a huge musical theater head, and she was talking, and she knows the story a little bit closer than I do, because I saw it a long time ago in high school, but it's been a while. But she said it's got the potential, the second one, to be even better story-wise than the first one. So I'm like, fingers crossed. And then there's 2 original songs in there that could be really good.
Written by who?
I think Cynthia and Ari have a hand in it.
Okay.
I think they both have a hand in it with John Schwartz. So it's gonna be interesting. So I had to put that at number 3. Number 2. Number 2.
So once again, I'm not saying that I think it's going to be the best movie or anything, but my number 2 is actually Ballerina from John Wick.
I did see that.
I think, I do like the John Wick movies. They're a lot of fun. I like Ana de Armas, especially from Knives Out. She was my most watched actor on Letterboxd from this past year, which was only 3 movies. I haven't really watched a whole lot of movies last year, but Keanu Reeves is going to be in it. I think the time the movie takes place and the amount Keanu Reeves is going to be in it, I heard it's like, in a way, like John Wick 3.5.
Okay.
But it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really interested to see how they really expand upon the universe of the world of John Wick with a movie that's not necessarily centered on him. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Hey, they pumping these John Wick movies out, fam.
Right.
They got 5 now, like in the span of how many years? Because they got John Wick 1 through 4, and now this one.
Almost 10 at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was a decade last year. I think the first one came out in 2014.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I was going to say I was in college when the first one came out. I remember that.
By the time I got into them, I think the first 2 had already been out. So I was like, you know what? And then I watched both of them. And the third one's the first I saw in theaters. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun movies.
No, they're definitely fun watches. Mike already said my number 2, but Avatar, James Cameron. I'm a sucker for visuals, bro. You can throw me anywhere with some dope views and I'll be fine, man. And so another one, that first Avatar, that was another movie me and my family saw at the Dollar Flick. Like when it first came out, we waited them 4 months because it was in theaters for a minute.
Yeah.
I saw it super late. But bro, when I'm telling you, when I finally saw it, dog, like I think we saw it like twice because I definitely fell asleep the first time I saw it. And I was like, nah, I need to go see it again in theaters. So I forced my mom. This is like way before I had my license. So I forced my family. I don't even think my whole family went the second time. I think it was just like me and my brothers. And we went and we watched it. And I was like, bro, I just remember being a kid and like, I knew the story was essentially Pocahontas, but it was just so like everybody hated on it. Like this story's just Pocahontas. And I'm like, yeah, but bro, did you not see what we're seeing? These are like 17 feet tall aliens and like they're blue. And like, how did we do this with the CGI? Like this is way back in the day. And so I know it took a while for the second one to come out, but I also saw that in theaters. It was well worth the wait. Visually, it was pleasing. Yeah. The plot made sense. It wasn't like the plot was okay. It was a little loose, but I feel like because we knew this movie was coming next, that there would be some plot holes. Like I kind of just expected that. Yeah. So I really hope all the plot holes kind of get filled in with this third movie. But yeah, man, I'm excited, bro. I just can't wait to see what like visually, like we're going from fire or we're going from water now to fire. Like it's going to be super crazy. Like, and I hope that translates in the movie as well. Like, are they going to still have gills? Are they still going to like, is the fire going to affect them more because they're coming from the water initially? Like I want that to play a role in this movie. So I'm excited to see, but I'm also curious to see like, because the movie, like the second Avatar wasn't that long ago. So I still remember exactly everything that happened, but super excited for it.
Definitely. Oh yeah, that movie's gonna slap. I went number 2. I went with Fantastic Four.
Okay.
First step, so I had to go. I think this. I mean, it has the potential to be. I mentioned the word fresh before. I think this could be something fresh for the MCU too, by doing it in like another period, and not in modern day. So I think it could be fun. And I like some of the cast. I like what they have cooking. I'm curious to see how it meshes together. But I don't know. Fantastic Four. This is Marvel's time doing it, and it took them a while, obviously because of rights stuff too. But like I feel like they've really molded it into what they think that they want it to be, and I'm hoping that it's worth it. So I'm excited when we get that first teaser just to see more what this movie is supposed to look like. So I had to go with that number 2. And then number one.
Number one. Any guesses what my number one might be, Michael?
Oh, I don't think so.
Your top three throw me for a loop. You put
Okay,
Paddington in
maybe
there,
I
boy,
might
and
have
I'm
one
like,
guess.
Okay.
Because it's not in my list, but it's on my honorable mentions. Is it Tron?
No.
Okay.
I forgot about that one.
All right.
No, my number one is Mickey 17.
Oh, duh.
what's that?
Yeah.
It's Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite.
Yeah.
And then it's Robert Pattinson, and he
Yeah.
plays this clone named Mickey, and then each time like he dies, a new one gets uploaded, like his consciousness gets uploaded to a new clone, and he just continues what he was doing, but he has all his memories. And I think he like bumps into another Mickey, like they're both, two of them are like existing at the same time. They have to try to survive or something like that. I mean, again, Bong Joon-ho, he's a great filmmaker. I'm talking like Memories of Murder, Parasite, The Host, Snowpiercer, and then it's Robert Pattinson
too. Yeah.
I mean, Robert Pattinson's also been killing it lately. I know you mentioned the Safdie brothers. They did Good Time. Have you seen Good Time?
Good Time, yep.
Man, that movie is, Michael, you need to watch Good Time. It's like the same kind of intensity of Uncut Gems, but like just different. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So yeah, Robert Pattinson playing multiple characters. It seems like a lot of fun. Bong Joon-ho, Mickey 17. That's my number one.
Yeah, I gotta write that one down because I like both of them. So that's definitely gonna be a banger. My number one, I kind of gave a little hint, not really a hint, but when I was talking about Uncut Gems earlier, how much I love Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
We got Adam coming back, baby. Let's get it. We got Happy Gilmore 2. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Dog.
Of course.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Right,
Travis
okay.
Kelce's in it. So shout out Levi Heights.
Yeah,
really?
Very
Okay.
Trav getting his little acting gig. You know what I'm saying? He's not the only Hollywood one in the family. Taylor, Jason, he said, I want to act too. Bad Bunny's also supposed to be in the movie. We've seen him, he was in that Knives Out for a little cameo. But yeah, man, just Happy Gilmore 2 is in the same vein of Freakier Friday. We're bringing back most of the same actors, which is super cool. I don't even really know what the plot's about, but I don't care. I'm just gonna be butt in seat.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is my guy, man. That's another one. I feel like we all grew up on his movies. So anything he does, just about, I'm there.
Yeah, I love that boy Sandler.
Okay, yeah, Happy Gilmore. I'm writing that one down.
I saw him. It wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago when he was touring. He was doing his stand up. I saw him in Columbus, and me and my wife died. That man he's the goofiest. Man.
He's just goofy, bro.
It'd be random stuff. Like, what are you talking about? But I don't know, but it's funny.
It's his voice. It's like, dude, it's everything about him, bro. He's like, everyone's like, like buddy. Everyone's like buddy. You know what I mean? He just gives off that vibe. He's like, so like, he's unassuming, but he's also like approachable. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. He's just like that guy, man.
Yep. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued on that one. I want it to be funny. And we don't watch Adam Sandler movies for like the greatest plot in the world. It don't matter about the plot. It just matters that it's funny and that he bring you joy.
Even the movies from like his not label, but his like studio. You know what I mean? Like I love like Benchwarmers. I mean that's
exactly yeah.
That's a classic. Benchwarmers, all those. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I forgot about those.
Not to cut you off, Mike, but I saw like a Jonah Hill like interview, or maybe it was like Seth Rogen, and he was like, they want to bring back like the era of like just like the funny movie. So I feel like growing up in the 2000s, we had just a whole bunch of like nonsense, like just funny movies. You know what I mean? Like Adam Sandler was definitely part of that. Like that vibe. I mean, we think of, like you said, Benchwarmers, Big Daddy, like it was just like that era of movies, and
Wedding Crash,
just like goofy, dumb plots, but like you can follow it, just like really good jokes.
Yeah, don't hit on Napoleon Dynamite,
classic.
Yes.
Absolute classic. just like, just Nacho Libre, bro. Like it's just like
I haven't
an
seen
era.
Nacho Libre. I gotta watch that one.
Oh man, it's
you ain't never seen Nacho?
So
no, I just never got around to it. But.
It's so dumb,
Nacho's just random.
It's just so random. It's Jack Black being a luchador.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Is that movie low-key racist?
I mean, probably.
I mean, what movie was it back then? Honestly, just
like nah. Think about it,
bro.
Yeah.
It's
you're right,
so
you're right,
good
you're right,
though.
You're right.
It's so
This
funny,
is-
man.
Yeah,
It's just nonsensical. It's just.
I seen that in a minute.
But yeah, Adam Sandler, man. Happy Gilmore 2 coming out.
all right,
Go.
Michael, what you got?
I think y'all already know what my number one. You already know.
Superman.
Yes. You know it. It's Superman.
Yes.
It's Superman. My boy James Gunn. This is his moment. We've seen. I feel like everything that he's made so far, it's like it's a group of heroes, misfit type stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been seeing people labeling him as like this is the only thing that he can do, and I think this movie is really going to test him because Superman's not extremely goofy or none of that stuff. Like that's not his vibe. So can he write something that's and I believe he can, that's different and not that has a unique tone that can be funny but not particularly funny. So I think I'm excited to just see like what it is. Like obviously I don't know the plot. I think the teaser gave us all little snapshots of what we could experience, what we will experience in a movie, which is great. I thought it did a perfect job. From a fan standpoint, I thought it did a perfect job just giving us something just to look forward to for that movie. So and it's an important movie because the movie needs to be good for this just new era of DC content, because if this movie is not good, which I highly doubt it's not going to be like successful, but if it's not successful, then they have a big problem on their hands. But I've got good excitement for this one, and I think they're gonna as just like how they backed the Flash movie, they put a lot of money into that promotion. I think they're gonna do the same thing with Superman. They're gonna put all their marbles onto it, and I think it'll sell, and then people are gonna show up for it. And we also haven't had a Superman movie in a minute. I think all the heroes and all the other characters that we've seen are going to play a role in it, but I'm expecting Superman to really be a Superman movie. Like it's going to focus a lot on him, and we'll see snapshots and get introduced to these other heroes, but they're not going to be, they're not going to play that major role in the movie. So I'm looking forward to see what he got cooked up. As we wrap up, y'all got any honorable mentions that weren't mentioned? I think most of my honorable mentions were mentioned.
Yeah, I got 3.
Okay.
One was originally in my top 10, and I kicked it out. This movie, I just heard about it when I saw Nosferatu like 2 weeks ago. It's called Flight Risk.
Okay.
Topher Grace, Mark Wahlberg. I guess Topher Grace is traveling with like a marshal. He's going to go testify, like a little commuter plane. So there's like only room for 3 people. He's going to testify against some like cartel leader. Mark Wahlberg's the pilot, and then they find out that Mark Wahlberg's actually a hitman hired to kill him because he's going to testify. And it's like not really cat and mouse because they're in just like a cabin in the plane, but it just seems like a lot of fun. Like I said, Topher Grace. I love Topher Grace.
Been a minute.
Mark Wahlberg, that hairline though, I'm like, dang.
He whips off his top of his head, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, because it's like Mark Wahlberg's wearing a baseball cap, and I was like, okay. And then when it comes off, it's just like bald, except for like, I was like, oh, that does not look good. But I think it's based on a true story, so maybe that's how the guy looked. Loosely based. Number 2 for honorable mentions, I put Love Me. Have you heard of that? It's like Steven Yeun and Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah, actually,
like it's like a post-apocalyptic love movie where like Steven Yeun plays like a satellite, and then Kirsten Stewart was like
I did see something.
Yeah, I'm like, that seems interesting, and
It's like a
actor, so
movie.
It's just seems really interesting. And then the last one would be Demon Slayer: The Infinity War, Infinity Castle story arc. So what you were talking about,
anime heads right here.
What we talked about earlier is like just the animation. I mean, Michael, if you look at clips from Demon Slayer season 4, just the animation alone is insane.
I might need to. I'm not hit. I might need to.
So yeah, like even just for the animation alone, I'm definitely super hyped to see that. So those are the three honorable mentions that I have.
Okay. All
so
right.
this is a crazy take, but I'm not the biggest fan of Demon Slayer's animation.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But I just want to say that and just head out because I get slayed for that. But my honorable mention, I didn't see any of the Marvel movies because I knew you guys would cover those bases. I'm excited. I'm not like jumping up my seat like trying to go run to a movie theater for them, but I will see those. I think I've said this before on here. I think this phase is very, very important to bring fans that have kind of fallen out during phase 4 back in.
Yeah.
So again, I'm gonna watch these movies because I've invested way too much time already, but I'm not like super thirsty to go see them. But I do think that I do have expectations that these movies will hit. I'm just not like running to the theater. F1 would probably be my. I was gonna say F1. It was actually in my top 5, but Michael said it, and bro, if you guys haven't seen the F1 show on Netflix, if you're ever just like working from home or you just need to throw something on in the background, it's really interesting because the sport is only the top 20. Like it's 10 teams. And they have 2 racers.
Yeah.
So like it's very, very intense and it's very, very competitive. And I didn't really know anything about the sport, but once you get into it, it's really easy to like find a couple racers that you kind of gravitate towards. Obviously, everyone knows Lewis Hamilton. He's probably the most storied right now, but there are a couple other guys too that, you know, are pretty cool and whatnot. And I believe F1 is going to be shot by the same guy or directed by the same guy who did, what's the movie with Tom Cruise? Top Gun. The plane movie? Top Gun. Yeah, it's by the same guy. So if it's anything like that, I believe, you know, it's going to be super, super good.
Yeah.
But I had a question for you, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you, and you also, Josiah, what movies in your top 10 do you think will be blockbusters?
Superman. Well, okay. Back up. What is your definition of a blockbuster? Like, how much money does it need to make to be a blockbuster? Because I feel like
fair enough. So if it like when I look at blockbusters, I look at movies that have like huge budgets and they have to make their budget back for sure.
Superman,
because they're not spending $100 million to go make 50. You know what I mean? Like they're spending this money to go make a great film and hopefully, you know, return what they spent and more. So that's I just look at big budgets and they make their return on budgets.
All right. I don't actually. I'm not going to say Superman because, like Michael said, that's real risky. I think people are going to wait for buzz, and then for Marvel, the Marvel ones as well. I think people are going to wait for the buzz first before they flock out and see it because Marvel's been kind of lately. So if I had to pick, I don't know. I don't know if I have one.
Because for sure, I think Mission Impossible.
Okay,
like,
no,
absolutely. Like absolutely, I think for me, Mission Impossible. I also think Captain America will do well. I like Marvel has that one too. Marvel has pull, so I think it'll be a blockbuster just because people come out.
Yeah,
I think Avatars always generally do well.
Yeah,
and then Knives Out. I was looking at Knives Out, and like it has great buzz. I think that one will do.
No, is this one going to be? Is it going to be a Netflix film? Because they only released Glass Onion for a week in theaters.
You're right.
That's a good question. I don't know if this one is.
So I did go see Glass Onion in theaters because I'm like, it's come on, it's the Glass Onion, but it only had a 1 week release window. So
yeah, I think it's going to be the same. Yeah, because it says it's being released on Netflix in 2025, so it's probably going to have a small release window.
Okay,
which is kind of lame. But
and I want it to be, but I don't know. Sinners.
Yeah, I think
Ryan Coogler has enough buzz, and I think Michael B is a big enough actor.
Yeah.
That they could actually do some damage.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I wonder if it can, and it might not, because with I was thinking of Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer pulled because I think it helped with the Barbenheimer type thing. But I wonder if this could be one of those mature films that just I don't know, they just get popular. Like you don't expect to be really popular, but it's like, oh, people like this, and then the word of mouth is really good. So it's possible. The other one that wasn't mentioned, I'd say, Wicked. Wicked's gonna hit. I'm curious though, on their promotion, like what for the second one, like how they plan on doing this rollout, because last year the first trailer was like Super Bowl. The Super Bowl Sunday is when they released the first trailer. Super Bowl Sunday is next month, and we're not that far removed from the first one, from the hype. So I wonder if will they play something during February? Because they don't need, in my opinion, I'm like, you don't need to, right? You don't need to. People are already buying the digital, watching the special features, all that stuff. So like, you don't need to play anything for the second Super Bowl, for the Super Bowl to build hype. But I don't know, maybe they'll get greedy and be like, we want to build even more hype and still show something. So that'll be interesting. That's a little tidbit there. So we'll see. Other honorable mentions that weren't
I just had one. Love Hurts. It's like a action comedy movie with I'm gonna butcher his name, but Ki Hu Kwan. He was a guy who acted in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He was the father.
Oh,
it's him and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I saw that trailer. Lynch. Oh, that should be fun.
It looks like a little action comedy. Yeah, a little Marshawn Lynch cameo. He's an assassin or whatever. So I feel like it'll be a good, funny movie.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'll definitely check that out. Zootopia 2.
Okay.
Wow, that comes out?
Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't hit. Zootopia's great.
Yeah, I really like the first one.
I like it a lot.
So I'm excited to see, like, I feel like anytime Disney tries to do a sequel, they usually try to do it up, So I'm curious to see what they got for this one. And then mentioned Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm intrigued to see how they revive the franchise. And then Tron Ares. I'm intrigued on that one. I'm intrigued. I think Nine Inch Nails is doing the score, which is huge. It's not Daft Punk, which got me sad, but
didn't they retire or break up or something?
Yeah, they kind of like retire basically. So I was hoping that they could get out of retirement just for this movie, but Nine Inch Nails is a good backup. They did good with the Challengers, and then I think they did Soul too. They're making a name for themselves with doing scoring.
I honestly didn't know that, and then I was watching the what was it, the Critics' Choice?
Yeah,
and they won for Challengers, and it was like Nine Inch Nails. I was like, I had no idea they were out here scoring movies.
Yeah, bro, they're so cooking, cool. And that score was kind of fire too.
I haven't seen the movie, but that's so cool. Like, I love that.
Yeah, they're cooking. So I think with Tron, I think they might be in their bag. So I'm intrigued on that one. I don't know much about the plot, if it's going to be that good, but I'm intrigued. All right. Dang. Top 10 with honorable mentions. Gentlemen, that was a good list. Good discussion. We got tons of movies coming out. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm hyped now.
You guys gave me some ones I had no idea were coming out. I'm happy we did this.
Oh, yeah. I think this year has the potential to be even bigger, or not even just be even bigger. It'll be better than I think last year wasn't bad. It was just looking at the slate for this year, I think it could top last year easily.
These last 2 years have been really good. I mean, like I said, Barbie, Oppenheimer.
This
year, Dune Part 2.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of really good movies, this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's good.
Wow, Dune came out this year. That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy? By the way,
or last year, I should say. I guess.
I think because I'm worried that it's gonna miss a lot during this award season.
Oh, me too.
I think it should have came out later on in the year. I think I don't know if people are forgetting about it, but now I'm wondering. I'm like, would this movie have a benefit more if it had came out later? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It
made quite the splash because there's not really any big competitors.
No, there wasn't.
I don't know, man. I know this is just like a figure of speech, but I think it was like fate. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because like I said,
Lisa Nagai.
Denis Denis Villeneuve doesn't do the numbers like Christopher Nolan has in the past. Like
It's true.
I know a lot of Blade Runner 2049, really amazing movie, didn't really do good.
Yeah, it's
Then
real.
Dune Part 1 was supposed to come out in 2020.
Yep.
Then COVID happened, it got pushed, and what happened? It exploded.
Yeah.
Then it was supposed to come out to 2023, I think, but then writer strike pushed it back to 2024.
Yeah.
It exploded. And it didn't have to compete against Oppenheimer or Barbie. I almost said Barbieheimer, but Barbie. So this year, the time it came out, there was not really anything coming out like as big around that same time, and it exploded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the cast, so really good year for Zendaya, really good year for Timothée Chalamet, and Florence Pugh, and even Austin Butler. I know the bike riders didn't really. I heard it was good. I just didn't. I don't that kind of. But Austin Butler, really great year for him too. So, I think it came out at a perfect time.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's a great point. I think a lot of this stuff is timing because, I mean, if you're right, Dune probably took up the first half of the year, and then Barbieheimer was the buzz for the second half of the year. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hope. There's still a lot of time left for award season. But I don't think it's gonna get its love.
Yeah,
it's fine. Boys, this is okay. Today we're marking this. Today, this is the longest Real Table episode, and I'm not mad about it because this is a quality episode.
Yeah,
but this is the longest podcast episode I've ever done, and I'm not mad about it. And I love it. I appreciate both of y'all for getting on here and giving me your top 10 and. I'm sure, as always, you both will be back on, and we can be talking more movies, and I'm excited. And 2025, we here. Let's do it.
Man, looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thank you so much again for being on this podcast, and to all the people that have stuck with me for that whole hour and 21 minutes. Like, I appreciate the love and support. Hey, if you know anybody that's excited about movies and wants to look forward to the year ahead, send this podcast to them. We talked about a lot of movies and probably movies that you probably didn't even know was coming out, but we talked about a lot. So share this podcast, send it to somebody, and I'll see you next time on the Real Table Podcast. Y'all be safe out there. Peace. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.